Hey, good morning, my friends. I'm Live Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa with the MLive Morning Weather Update. About an hour late this morning. I had a few errands to do. Weather changes in a big way, and very rarely can I say in a good way, and everybody is happy. It's kind of usually split in Michigan. Oh, we need rain, we don't need rain. Oh, I want warmer weather, I don't want warmer weather. Well, we know most places do not need any more rain, and that's going to be one of the good changes in this weather pattern that we have coming. And I think pretty much all of us could agree we're ready for spring, right? And you know what? If you're not ready for spring, I guess you got to continue to head north for yourself. Fortunately, yesterday those morning, early afternoon storms kind of suppressed the energy, and for the most part, we were able to escape severe weather. There were some severe thunderstorms in the southeast part of the state, a few trees down, but we were able to escape, anything really widespread or horrific. So it's going to be pretty short today because it's a pretty short forecast. We're going to start off with the European model, and we're going to start off with, looking at the next 10 days. And the story is mostly dry, and this model and all models don't forecast any cold fronts to come through. But I will tell you that because of cold Great Lakes as we warm up, I have found that a backdoor cold front always sneaks into our forecast in a 7-day span that looks all warm. One comes across Canada, it picks up some cooler air from Lake Superior, Lake Huron, and it backs down into Michigan. And all of a sudden you see, hey, wait a minute, it was 70s for 7 days, and now there's a 50 in there on at least the east side of the state. So, but the big picture is it's really turning around. So here we go. And again, remember to notice the blue lines, cold temperatures, like we're into today, and the red lines, warmer temperatures, and watch the change. So today's a chilly day compared to what we had yesterday. And then Friday, not quite as chilly, but not as windy, and some sunshine. There's maybe a little patch of some rain that could come across northern Michigan and central lower Michigan Friday night, Saturday morning, and then Easter Sunday. And that right there, Easter Sunday afternoon, looks like a great weather pattern. Hey, I noticed that, Robert, Kelly, the peepers were talking. My wife and I noticed that. We came out of a restaurant, late dinner, and yeah, in the swampland, the frogs were going crazy, singing. So this is Easter Sunday. Looks great. We'll have some sunshine, milder temperatures. And then look at Monday. Now, here's what to focus on. Remember, we've been looking at the cold pocket with a lot of blue lines all the way down into Michigan and a solid area of Canada. Now look at the map and see what's happened. The cold pocket has shifted north and east, and sign of a big break toward spring weather. Look at that. You see the red lines go all the way up to the top of the screen. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't have another frost or freeze, but we go into Tuesday of next week and it looks warm, and we go into Wednesday and Thursday. And certainly there's still some chilly air up in central Canada, but we're into Thursday now of next week. That interesting storm in the southeast can have an effect on us in holding back any cold air coming from Canada. So this is Thursday of next week and Friday, and the next storm system coming out of the Rockies. And you'll notice the precipitation has really, really slowed down. But this is next Saturday, and we continue with the mild conditions. So let's just look at the good news here. Today we're in the 40s to low 50s. And then tomorrow, about the same. Good Friday, looking at, we'll call it 50 degrees. Saturday, we inch up a little bit in the south, upper 50s. Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, we stay kind of suppressed in temperatures in the north. Oh, just a black screen. Pamela Todoroff, you got something going on, buddy, because everything looks fine on this end, and I see the broadcast. So clear your cache out. Something's going on with your computer. Clear your cache, clear your history, shut it down, and maybe it'll come back to normal. Now, here's Easter Sunday. We'll call it 60 degrees. Here's Monday. Call it 63 to 65. Tuesday, inching to near 70. Wednesday, low 70s. Thursday, low 70s. Friday, low 70s. Saturday, low 70s. And you can kind of see how the models indicate that along the shorelines, we can cool down rapidly on an afternoon lake breeze. That's the other thing that is not addressed in the general forecast, is that if you have a sunny forecast, light wind, the ground heats up, Lake Huron still 45 degrees, and Lake Michigan still cold too. It happens more on the east side of the state, Lake Huron, than it does Lake Michigan, but it does happen on Lake Michigan and in downtown Traverse City. What happens is that lake breeze develops, and boom, noon, 1 o'clock, the wind picks up to about 20 miles an hour, and temperature drops to 45, 50 degrees from 65 or 70. You say, what happened? This wasn't in the forecast. Well, it was in mine. You know that, and you know it too. You are the tops of weather savvy people in Michigan. So watch out for the lake breeze. Keep the sturdy winter coat with you if you're getting out to enjoy the spring and you're going to be able to see water. If you can see water, you could feel a lake breeze pouncing on you pretty quickly. So point being is we've got a big weather change. Now let's look at rainfall. We don't need any. We don't need any rainfall. Now we've had enough. Like I said, could be a little patch of 0.2 to maybe a half inch on Friday night. This would be middle of Friday night towards Saturday morning. So Traverse City, Benzie County, in through maybe towards Standish, maybe 1/10 to 0.4 of an inch. Now we keep going, and we go out 10 days, and we don't see anything painted on. So that is a great news for the farmers. They're ready to go. Soil's going to warm up. Great news for us gardeners too. Now here's the 16-day precipitation forecast and one little more bit of hardcore meteorology for you. I'm using on this what we call the ensemble mode of the European model. That means they take the model, they run it with the most likely conditions, and we get the best run, the most likely run, Then we get 30 other iterations of that run. They all average together. So when we get out late in the forecast, 10 days out, there are always some of those iterations that have at least some precipitation. So you won't see a bone dry forecast on an ensemble, even if it is going to be bone dry. But if you see only 1/4 of an inch or a half inch of rain, you know that that's because some of those iterations are producing a little bit of rain, and it's generally quite a drier than normal forecast. And that's what you'll see as we go out 16 days. You see that Michigan, a lot of places could have a half inch of rain in 16 days. That's in the ensemble mode. So it means precipitation will be lower than normal. Brett Machino, is it drought looking? No, it's not drought looking. It's a break in the stormy pattern looking. So, and that typically happens, after you go through a month or 6 weeks of a big Pacific flare-up, you get this lull for at least several weeks. Now, let's look at the temperature anomalies next 16 days. We're cool the next couple of days, but then just look at the nice warmer than normal conditions by 5-10 degrees settling in. Now we're into April 17th. Now we're into April 19th, and we're into April 20th. So it appears as though April is going to be somewhat opposite of March. March mostly colder than normal, and it appears as though April going forward is going to be mostly warmer than normal. Hey, good forecast, right? and we can all agree on that. So, hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Thanks for sticking with us over the last couple of days with the chance of severe weather. Hopefully, you got the gist of my scene in that it was a conditional probability all along, depending on how much sunshine and instability we get in the middle part of the day. And fortunately, we got the storms in the middle of the day and not so much in the late afternoon and evening. So have yourselves a great Thursday. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning as we head into the holiday weekend. Bye-bye.